Hi guys, and welcome to a special bonus episode this week of the Coffee and Heroes show. Anybody who watched the last couple of episodes will have noted that I said I may throw an extra one out here simply because I've been working my butt off this week, been in an extra couple of days, working through new packs that are being built for the store. So these are all going into the store today, which means they will be all live for tomorrow's Halloween event. The event, of course, is going to be 10% off across the store, including graphic novels, omnibuses, merchandise and comic packs. So there's going to be tons of new choice, and of course we'll be handing out the free issues as well through the Marvel's Trick or Read program. So as I say, an absolute metric ton of great stuff here, and there really is something for everybody in here. So I'm just going to take you through what we've got. So first off, we've got Twig. This was a 5-issue mini-series which was done by Scotty Young and Kyle Strahm. Great title for all ages, 5 issues in total, and that is the complete first print series. Next up, we have the complete run of Superman Son of Kal-El, which of course was the Tom Taylor, John Timms mini-series, maxi-series I suppose, which focused primarily on Jonathan Kent focusing on the Son of Kal-El, hence the name. This is all 18 issues as well as the annual included there. The next couple I suppose I could pull out all at the same time, because if you've ever been a fan of or have heard of, and why wouldn't you, because it's some of the best Batman stuff of recent times, you have the Sean Murphy-verse, which of course was the White Knight universe. It kicked off primarily with the idea that the Joker has tried everything to take Batman down, except making himself sane and running for office and getting rid of him through legal means. It starts from there and it grows massively. But Sean Murphy writes and draws all of the main series. He co-writes the tie-in series with his wife, Katana Collins. Then you have different artists on that. But what we've got here is the complete run broken across 5 different packs. So you've got Batman White Knight, the first 8 issues, all first prints there. You then follow it up with Batman Curse of the White Knight, which brings Azrael into the Murphyverse. And then the last full series is Batman Beyond the White Knight, which, you know, obviously brings the likes of Terry McGinnis and so forth into that. But as well as the main series, you had these tie-in series. Now I would argue they're just as important because they follow sequentially the main series. It's not just like they're fluff tales, they're very important to the main narrative. So first of all, you've got Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn, which focuses on Harley helping the police try to track down a serial killer. That's set 2 years after the end of Curse, I believe. And then the most recent one was Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker, which is to do with Jack Napier and Harley's children. So again, I would personally see those as pretty essential. What have we got next up? So next up, we've got the full volume of the recent Captain America run, which was predominantly done by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. But it went across 2 different titles. So it started off with a 0 issue, and then it went into Captain America Symbol of Truth, which focused primarily on Sam Wilson, and Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, which was your Steve Rogers title. They eventually cross over into an event called Cold War, and everything is in this massive double pack right here. So you have all the issues of Symbol of Truth, all the issues of Sentinel of Liberty, as well as all the one-shots you need along the way. So your 0 issue, your Cold War Alpha and Omega, and your Captain America finale as well. So again, that is everything for the Captain America fan. Next up, we have Justice League Dark, and again, this is a complete massive run right here. Complete 41 issues in total. This was kicked off by Peter Milligan and art by Mikel Janin through the New 52. Fantastic run. If you like the supernatural side of the DC universe, this is right up your alley. And as I say, all 40 issues are here, plus the New 52 Futures End, which makes it 41. Of course, it is the lenticular cover as well, and all first prints into the bargain. Next up, we have Peach Momoko and her Demon Wars run, or Demon Days, it depends on the title, but these were essentially all one-shots that were all linked together. Her reimagining of the Marvel Universe, almost like a feudal Japan era. Really, really good stuff, and this contains all the one-shots released so far. Next up, we have The Me You Love in the Dark. This was a 5-issue mini-series from Scotty Young and Jorge Corona, the team, of course, who did Middle West. Fantastic series. And this was a rather beautiful, haunting little horror love story. 5 issues in total. Really, really good stuff there. Next up is Firepower. This is essentially the first 18 issues. Well, technically 19, because we've also included the Free Comic Book Day issue, which kicked it all off as well. But then it's all first prints the whole way through this. Robert Kirkman, Chris Samney, brilliant series. The latest issue is issue 28, and it's going to finish at issue 30. So this is essentially the first 3 volumes of Firepower. Next up we have Public Domain. This was a 5-issue miniseries by Chip Zdarsky. It was essentially it was almost a take on the idea of what happened to Siegel and Schuster, of course, who created Superman, and then, you know, all the suits above them made all the money and the creators were sort of left languishing. It was only years later they finally got their full attention. But yeah, 5 issues in total, and that is the complete series. Couple of volumes up next of Good Boy, which is essentially, imagine if it was John Wick, but instead of the dog being killed, it was John Wick that was killed, and they set out for revenge. Some really good stuff in there, really fun. Next up is Vanish, 8-issue maxi series so far. There may be more, but we'll wait and see. This is from Duncan Cates and Ryan Stegman, who of course did such great work on Venom, and this is all 8 issues released so far, but this is a complete variant set with Daniel Warren Johnson doing all of the variants for that. What have we got next? Next up we have Nice House on the Lake, which we have in 2 different ways for you. So fantastic series, James Tynion IV, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, 12 issues in total. And you've got the choice of 2 different sets which are priced the same. You've got your first print cover A set right there, or you've got a complete variant set right there. Perfect read for the spooky season. What have we got next? We have Superman Red Sun, 3-issue Elseworlds tale from Mark Millar. Imagining what if Superman had landed in the Soviet Union as opposed to the US. The most recent run of Fantastic Four, we've got the first 9 issues all together here. Alex Ross covers the whole way through, but some of them are Alex Ross variant covers focusing on the individual members of Fantastic Four. Next up we have Shadecraft. This was a cool little 5-issue horror title set in a small town where shadows start to come to life, and it's to do with a teenager called Zadie, who is the first to notice this strange phenomenon. There was talks of a movie at that at some point, but it seems to have died down. Next up is Swamp Thing. This is the New 52 run, and this was a complete run done by Scott Snyder. So he did the whole way from issue 0 up to issue 18. And then at issue 19, Charles Soule took over writing duties, but that's the complete Snyder, and that was one of my favourite New 52 titles. Next up is Dark Knights of Steel. This is the complete 12-issue mini-series, but also you have the one-shot Tales from the Three Kingdoms. But what's cool about this set is this is the complete set of the 1-25 variant covers for the series, so all included there. Tom Taylor and Yasmin Putri. What have we got next? Next up we have 300. From Frank Miller and Lynn Varley. This is the complete first print set. Don't really need much of an introduction for 300. Next up is Superman American Aliens, 7-issue maxi series, written by Max Landis with a different artist on every issue. And each issue essentially focuses on a different time in Clark's life. You know, it might be the first time he met Bruce Wayne, it might be the first time he learned how he could fly, first time he saves the city, that kind of thing. Next up, A Town Called Terror, 6-issue horror series about a guy who mysteriously goes missing in the middle of the night in front of his wife. His wife tries to solicit help, but no one will listen because there's absolutely no evidence that the kidnapping even took place. From the mind of Steve Niles, who of course was creator of 30 Days of Night. Next up is Until My Knuckles Bleed. This was a cool little throwback series. It'll remind you of stuff like Sin City or The Boys. Superhero in origin. But written and drawn by Victor Santos, who did a great little book called Polar. So that's his most recent one. Next up is The Killer, Affairs of the State. You may see a movie very soon related to this, directed by David Fincher, no less, which looks really cool. But this is a 6-issue mini-series which shows the killer being essentially caught and put to work for the French government. So pretty cool stuff there. What have we got next? Step by Bloody Step. This was a 4-issue image series. Written by Cy Spurrier, art by Matthias Bergara. The artist is more important than the writer in this one because this is a completely silent comic. The 2 main characters, a young girl and a robot essentially, they can't communicate in any way. So the whole series it's almost a complete your own adventure book to a degree. There is a clear narrative running through it, but you could certainly interpret different scenes in different ways. Next up, Echolands, 6 issues in total from the mind of J.H. Williams III. Some of the most glorious art you will see in comics the last few years. And this basically mashes together everything you can think of in the science fiction and fantasy genres. 6 issues in total there. Next up we have Frostbite. This is a 4-issue, or the first 4 issues I should say, of a series. Written by Joshua Williamson, art by Jason Sean Alexander, and it's to do with a world that has been plunged into a second ice age. Next up is Batman vs. Robin, 5 issues in total. Mark Waid on writing duties, Mahmoud Asrar on art. This essentially followed the Shadow War, as well as spinning out of the events of World's Finest, Batman Superman World's Finest. So 5 issues pitting father versus son. Only a couple more to go, I assure you. Next up we have Batman Fortress. This was an 8-issue miniseries where essentially Superman has gone missing, just as there is a huge alien invasion on Earth. See, disappears every time you need him. This is a complete variant set, so all 8 issues there. Next up is Silver Coin, again perfect for the spooky season. This is a 15-issue series so far. Each issue is essentially a one-shot based around the idea of a cursed silver coin. Same artist the whole way through the series, but what's cool about it is it's a different writer for every issue. So you've got Tinian writing, you've got Ram V writing, you've got Chip Zdarsky writing, you've got Kelly Thompson writing, you've got Kelly Sudaconic writing, so a lot of cool writers involved in that. And then just a couple more to finish. We have West of Sundown, again another horror themed series here, about an immortal vampire who is running low and the walls are closing in as she reaches closer and closer to the modern world. It's harder to hide who you are, but she is still able to elicit help and try to recover. We have Crossover next, 13 issues in total. So Donny Cates as big Image Comics series with art by Jeff Shaw. Of course, those guys worked together on God Country, which was absolutely fantastic. We finish off the very end with the Department of Truth. So James Tinian, Martin Simmons, their post-Truth World masterpiece. 22 issues in total so far, all first prints, all for your reading pleasure. So, as I say, they're all going into the store today, which is the Friday the 27th, and will be available from then. And again, just keep in mind, tomorrow we'll be running that Halloween event, which is the 10% off across the store, select items across the store, and the free issues being handed out as well. And also keep in mind, next Saturday we'll be doing our signing event with Derek Landy and PJ Holden, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, completely free. Anyway, hope this proved useful, guys. Keep me up to date with what's coming into the store and all the new stock we've been working on behind the scenes. So look forward to seeing you in the store soon. Take it easy.